Hello, everybody. For all you know, this is the first time we have tried to record this episode, and this is also the last time we'll maybe not, be talking about WandaVision on our show, as we had the series or season finale today. Who
I
knows?
think you can just call it a series finale if it's a mini
Yeah,
series.
it will most likely be the series finale, but I'm now gonna let the other person speak, and that other person is Evan. How are you
Hi, I'm Evan. I'm snooping as a snooper does.
today?
That's of course a reference to the classic television show WandaVision.
Yes, Snooper's gonna snoop, and
It was like Wanda slash Vision, like Frost Nixon.
yeah, I
There's a
guess.
there's a story about the political corruption in Sokovia.
Sure, yeah, the wonderful country of Sokovia. So before we get into the show, let's start it off by asking anyone who's watching this on YouTube or listening to us on our various platforms that we are on, such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, Stitcher, many more, to download our episode. Download all our episodes, like our video, watch our video, watch all of our videos, subscribe
They're
to
all
us.
good. All of them are good.
All of them are good, and all of them are also free. It would literally cost you nothing. If you subscribe to us and never watch us again, but stay subscribed, that'll still be cool. So that's our daily or weekly, should I say, asking of our viewers to do things for us that require minimal movement. Something that also requires minimal movement, I mean, maybe not for other people, but is watching WandaVision. And
It
we,
requires a lot of movement for me because I have to restrain myself from jumping for joy and cheering
okay,
excitedly at the immense joy that I received, watching every episode of WandaVision.
correct. And so WandaVision episode 9 aired on Disney Plus this morning, this late night for you if you're one of those sickos. Um, and it's on Disney Plus. You can watch it. You can skip to the end and find out what happens and not care about any of the other episodes. That's not my choice to make.
That's the
I
way you
chose.
watch Marvel movies. The last 10 minutes is what you need.
That's exactly true. I chose to watch every episode, and we started our show the first time WandaVision episodes were released on Disney Plus, and here we are at the end, and the finale answered some questions, still left some out in the air. Evan, what questions do you have, or do you just have statements to make?
I have quite a few questions I remember asking myself, such as, spoiler alert, such as,
Spoiler warning.
why was this CGI fight taking 30 minutes to resolve itself?
Hmm.
Couldn't they have given either of those villains a satisfying comeuppance?
Mm-hmm.
Could
Sure.
they have had any dialogue that was more straightforward and made a bit more sense?
Mm-hmm. So for the, go ahead, continue.
But oh, I kid.
Yes.
I thought I was not entirely disappointed by this episode. I think as a conclusion, it probably concluded in the way it had to. I will say we kind of you look at this episode and you look at the first episode and you see we really strayed far from the path. I think now, I guess, since it's the end, we can more, I guess, talk about WandaVision as a whole.
Sure, sure. Yeah. I mean, I bet it's a different experience going back and watching those early episodes now, knowing, what we know about Catherine Hahn since we saw that big battle between those two characters, Agatha Harkness and Wanda Maximoff. Um, yeah, it was certainly an interesting way, though, to start off phase 4 of Marvel's cinematic universe.
I think, the start of of Phase 4, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The first part of it, or was no, I guess because this is the first piece of Marvel Entertainment since, yeah,
Since Spider-Man: Far From Home, yeah.
yeah. Well, I guess then, my biggest thing is that if you recall from the earliest episode, is that my original feelings about the first two episodes of WandaVision were that I enjoyed the mystery, I enjoyed the setup, but I wish they had gone a bit deeper and they had taken a little further. And I guess as a whole, it is kind of disappointing to me that instead of like sticking to the mystery and maybe going a bit more subversive, a bit deeper, a bit more of an accurate, or a bit more of just a meaty like parody or like a satire of this idealized view of suburban life, which might have been passe but would have been interesting. And instead they just kind of like abandoned it. And again, this ending, as I said, that fight scene, this ending is characterized by a very extended fight scene between four belligerents, Vision and White Vision, and then Harkness and Wanda. And so there's a war being fought on two fronts.
Mm-hmm.
And while some of the visuals are pretty nice, I thought it's Vision fight. It's a really colorful Vision fighting a White Vision. I kind of thought they might do more cool. There's a lot of chances, I feel like, for some neat like effects and cool looking stuff, but the fight just seemed so prolonged, and especially because at the end, it ended the way it had to, and it ended the way that it was kind of telegraphed to, and it didn't really leave us with too many surprises. And so it kind of just felt like, I don't know, it felt like this show had a lot of promise to it and it had a lot of stuff that I liked, but this ending does kind of feel like it went up to a big wet nothing. So that's
Yeah.
my final takeaway. What about you?
Yeah, I don't know. Just like a couple quick things to hit on, I guess. So we started with like the post credit scenes of like Sword having Vision, and then we are obviously, those two were gonna fight each other. So that almost happens right away. We pick up right where we left off at the end of the last episode, where Agatha has the two kids, and we kind of see like how when Wanda is like using her powers, like Agatha kind of like how we saw in that one commercial where you're the Yo Magic commercial, like feeding on your magic. That's kind of what she was doing. And so I thought that was directly tied in with that. But then we saw all these characters fight for a little bit. It was kind of prolonged, and I didn't really like the scene where Vision was talking to Vision. I didn't love it. Obviously, Paul Bettany teased like there's this actor he has these intense scenes with, and it was just himself, and that was pretty funny. He revealed that on like Thursday, but had these theories like it was Professor X, it was someone he's always wanted to work with, it was himself. But
Yeah,
we
that
see
ship
Vision.
come. Well, they have like a talk about the ship of Theseus, and
Yeah,
this feels kind of tedious to me.
yeah.
It's like I get it, I get the point,
Hmm.
but I'm sure for me, it felt like a kind of tired conversation where it's like I feel like I didn't get why they needed to explain it, especially in that weird like didactic way that they did. But that's the whole thing about this episode. It just kind of felt tedious, like it was prolonging the inevitable.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel like episode 8 kind of told us everything that was almost going to happen. We saw Wanda as, in her full form, I guess. So obviously, we're going to get her in that costume with the crown and whatever. And then we saw how Billy and Tommy, her kids, were going to, not be able to exist outside of this, as Vision couldn't, the red Vision, not the white one. And we saw the White Vision get the memories of, or his memories were kind of activated by the other Vision. So that Vision flew away. So we're gonna get him showing up later. I'm almost sure, as the other one doesn't exist anymore. But I think he's, not going to be the one we've known in the past couple movies we've seen him in. But he'll certainly, still be involved.
It kind of it goes back to my initial statement about how this show really goes to great lengths to deeply explain every mystery that's brought up by itself.
Hmm.
And so this episode, I think, suffers from that. That's my biggest, is that it, instead of building on questions, instead of building on mystery, asking questions is good, but I don't need the movie to go to that much extent answering them. That's kind of for us to do.
Yeah. And I do quickly want to touch on, we saw Jimmy Woo make a call to someone named Cliff, and we thought this may have been the big cameo. I personally thought he was calling in Cliff Booth, and we were going to see Brad Pitt as the Luke Skywalker level cameo. He certainly would have been a worthy opponent to anyone in the Marvel universe. Um,
Was the Luke Skywalker level cameo? I
I don't know
legitimately,
if there was one. I mean, I really thought Doctor Strange was going to show up, but we see the scene with Monica Rambeau teasing Captain Marvel 2 with the scrolls. Again, that's not really someone of uh, particular Luke Skywalker level, I would say, or
they've
any
been in
level.
the show the whole time. The moment they
Mhm.
show Monica Rambeau, it's like, if for people who know that that's another Captain Marvel, they're like, "Oh, that's Captain Marvel. All right."
Yeah. Hmm.
So
And I did really like the scene with Monica and Billy and Tommy when they're all using their powers. Like, I like your powers or whatever. I thought that was funny. And we do see Monica, really does have these powers, whatever they might be. So she'll be a big player, probably a future Avenger. Um, and I just want to say that I did not watch all the X-Men movies this week to have Evan Peters be teased with his super speed and have a scene where Monica or Wanda's kid with the super speed, I forget if it's Billy or Tommy, but I know the character's name is Speed, does a scene where he takes one of the security or FBI, one of Hayward's agents' hats, a la Evan Peters in X-Men Days of Future Past. And Evan Peters has a man cave like he does in X-Men Days of Future Past and Apocalypse. And he's not Quicksilver. He is Ralph.
I thought that was kind of funny. It
Yeah.
was. It's like part of me kind of like respects them a little bit for like spending the whole like 8 episodes really saying like, okay, there's going to be a big tease, there's going to be, and then they
Mhm.
just don't do one.
Yeah.
Which
I think it's,
I kind of would respect them if that was like an intentional thing.
yeah, very funny in the sense of the intense Marvel fans who read into everything get let down by that. I do appreciate that level of commitment to the bit.
I would really love like for Marvel to do like a full, because of how many people they've reached a point where they can do whatever they want and they'll still be like make the highest grossing movie ever. I would love if they pulled like an Andy Kaufman style prank. They kind of did that with the first Spider-Man when they had the disappointment thing at the end. That I loved. I would really love if they did a full like fake out, like you think there's gonna be this big Avengers letdown, this big Avengers meetup movie,
Hmm.
and it's just like them all going to get like Chinese takeout.
Yeah, yeah. The what do they call it at the end of shawarma?
Yeah, shawarma.
Shawarma.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, they did that in the first Avengers.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, I do still have a lot of questions about the show. I think the biggest thing I'm going to take away from this is that at the end, when Agatha is turned, before she's turned back into the nosy neighbor role by Wanda, and Wanda has her costume, her crown, and she's basically saying goodbye to everyone after traumatizing these hundreds of people and leaving them scarred for life. Um,
Very
the
wonderful in 1984 to have our hero
Yeah.
like really ruin someone's life. at the end,
Yeah.
nothing ever happens.
Yeah. Just go back to normal. Herb and Dottie and Norm. Um,
After what they're going to be in therapy for years.
oh,
Like,
yeah. And Wanda just left. She flew away and she's in her cabin in the woods now, learning magic.
pretty
I
neat. I like that it didn't fully. It left her with a level of guilt, which was pretty
Right.
interesting. That I liked. I liked that.
She did have to sacrifice, her ideal life with Vision and the kids for these people to get their lives back, whatever their lives will be. I mean, I don't know. I doubt we'll see any of these characters really again from Westview, but maybe Wanda deals with some PTSD repercussions. Marvel has showed that in the past with Tony Stark. So yeah, I don't know.
I feel like that nosy neighbor thing, like having her. I was really hoping. We were mentioning this before the podcast, but I was really hoping for a really big comeuppance for the two villains.
Yeah,
And military guy, he just goes to jail.
Hayward. Yeah.
Hayward, he just goes. But you know what? He's like a high level military commander, so he's going to country club jail anyway. But like, I really thought they were going to like kill Agnes off, but no. Like, it's kind of funny that she has her stuck like in this internal like torture for like
She just
ever.
turned her into Catherine Hahn.
But like, isn't it like they're all screaming internally when they
Oh,
are here?
absolutely. Yeah. We see that
So,
too when Vision wakes them up, that they're like, get me out of this.
yeah, they're like that. I liked when they're like, just kill me, put me out of my misery. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
One of them says, like, if you're not going to let us live here or whatever, just kill us or something like that.
It's like a fate worse than that was what I was like really like shocked by. I was like, oh, she didn't just kill her; she gave her like a fate worse than death.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Like that's some
um,
like
go ahead.
Harlan Ellison type punishment right there.
Yeah. So I think the main takeaway from this is that when Wanda is speaking with Agatha slash Agnes, whatever she is now, she tells her basically like, you're gonna need my power after she does the whole thing with the runes, which was pretty cool, might I add, because she kind of pulled a Nuno reverse card on her. But I I think when she is telling Wanda that now that she's unlocked this Scarlet Witch level of whatever, that she tells her that she's going to need her Agatha. And I think Wanda definitely opened up the multiverse when she became the Scarlet Witch. And that's how she's going to play into Doctor Strange 2 and Spider-Man 3. Um, that is what seems to be happening here, in my opinion.
No, I agree. I remember I saw a lot of people talking about the multiverse in relation to this, and so that
Mm-hmm.
seemed like the likely outcome. I was kind of wondering like what the tie was, but that probably seems like it is. She just
Yeah.
opened up the multiverse. Now we're gonna see. So this will pave the way for some real Sam Raimi weirdness. Hopefully,
Mm-hmm.
this December.
Yes.
We're gonna
This
see some
December is Spider-Man 3, not Doctor Strange 2.
Oh, when's that?
So a little bit more of a wait for that,
We're gonna
unfortunately.
see some very evil trees in the MCU coming up.
Yes. Um,
Groot. Oh no, Groot! Stop it!
Groot. He's in trouble. So yeah, I did like this finale, but I think I more liked it before what it's setting up. And I think that's kind of the job of all these Marvel Disney Plus shows is you're not going to get any huge things like you will in the movies, but it's just more room to, set up those things in the movies and build anticipation. So I've seen on Twitter people saying like, now that they fooled us with Evan Peters, are they fooling us with Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire? Are they really not going to be in Spider-Man 3 since everyone's denying it? And I think we'll have to wait and see some footage for Spider-Man 3 before I make a bet on that, I think.
It would be once again. I think if they did do something like that, like they said, "Oh, all these people are going to be in it," and
Mm-hmm.
like again, like it's a cameo, like as a bus stop driver or something like that.
Yeah.
That I would love. I would really. I
Like
like
a
it
Stan Lee
when,
cameo.
yeah, maybe it's like a Stan Lee type cameo. What if
Mhm.
that was? That's the thing. Post Stan Lee, these cameos have gotten few and far between. They're not
Right, yeah, what if
as
that's the
good as
new
they once
thing?
were.
What if that's the new thing they start doing? They're like, "Hey, Hugh Jackman."
Hugh Jackman, could you have a cameo in this?
Yeah.
He could be.
Um,
He's holding a bunch of scissors. Oh, it's like Wolverine.
Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, he plays Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, good finale. Very much looking forward to Falcon and Winter Soldier in 2 weeks. I think that's going to be very, very different. But I have seen the episodes are probably going to be longer, more closer to an hour, where we saw half-hour ones because there's only 6 episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier. So we get that, then we get Loki after that, and by the point we're done with Loki, we're going to start hopefully getting some more Marvel movies back in theaters. So it should be exciting to see. I thought this was a very successful series, obviously, and there are just a lot of characters I want to see more from that were brought in here. Anything before we move on from WandaVision for the final time?
Uh, Once again, snoopers are gonna snoop. That's our
Exactly.
catchphrase for WandaVision, I think.
Okay, there we go.
We did
Um,
pick out the best possible cameo, which would, of course, have been friend of the show, Armand Hammer,
yes, as the Green
as
Lantern.
Mjolnir.
As Mule. Okay, yeah. Different directions there, but ultimately, same level of cameo, I think. Um, Moving on from Snooper's gonna snoop, should we say Hooper's gonna hoop? Could we say that?
Right. This is in reference to the remake of the classic film White Man Can't Jump,
Yes. Starring Woody Harrelson. Uh,
starring Woody Harrelson.
um, well, this movie is not starring Woody Harrelson, but it is starring an actor 10
It might be
times.
Woody Harrelson, we don't know.
It might, you're right. Uh,
Cameo this one.
an actor who was 10 times the level of Woody Harrelson would be LeBron James, who is, of course, starring in Space Jam: A New Legacy. We haven't seen a trailer for it yet, but they dropped, it was on the cover of Entertainment Weekly, I think. They released some stills from the movie. They released some plot information, which is very interesting to say the least. Um, I don't know
Talk
what to
about
say
the
about
plot
this.
information.
What'd you say?
I mean, there's two ways we can go with this Space Jam discussion, but let's talk about the plot information, I suppose.
Yes, stick to the plot, of course.
Yeah, I only watch Space Jam for the plot.
Yeah, said everyone who watches Space Jam. Um,
So it will include cameos from characters from The Matrix,
yes.
Max,
Hmm.
Casablanca, and the DC universe.
Yes,
So Warner
including
Brothers is pulling out his top guns for this one.
yeah, including Joaquin Phoenix and Jared Leto. Uh, I hope, God, I hope.
Hopefully, are we going to get Bugs Bunny saying we live in a society in this one?
Please, that's all I need.
I remember
Um,
in the announcement, it said like the Mad Max and like Casablanca franchise.
yeah,
You think that they're gonna be? Is Warner Brothers have a Casablanca cinematic universe waiting around the corner?
I guess so. I don't.
CGI de-aged Humphrey Bogart is gonna make an appearance playing basketball in this.
Yeah. I have no clue how they're going to make this work.
They won't.
They I have a little faith because Ryan Coogler is producing it,
No.
and I do trust Ryan Coogler. Um, I
Hey,
you want to
Bugs
hear?
Bunny, sweetheart, get over here. Oh no, that that attractive rabbit is really Bugs Bunny in disguise. Why would he do this to me, Bugs?
um, speaking of the plot of this movie, here's some little details. This includes LeBron and his son traveling through the Warner 3000 serververse, which is where we'll get these cameos, I would presume. And the AI G Rhythm is trying to steal LeBron's Instagram followers. So
Is this a joke? Are you messing with
this
me
is not
right
a joke. I'm not kidding. I saw this.
You're trying to steal his Instagram followers?
Yes.
Like steal like the follow count, or does he want to steal like millions of people, like take them home with him?
Well, I am among LeBron James's followers on Instagram, so maybe I'll be making a
You're
cameo.
gonna be stolen
Yeah.
by AI called, what's it called? Grumbar?
G Rhythm.
G Rhythm.
I don't know if he will be playing G Rhythm, but Don Cheadle is in this movie, and that's important to share.
Don Cheadle will play Marvin the Martian, of course.
Don Cheadle word of the day. Have you ever seen that meme?
No, I haven't.
It's a good one. So yeah, that's Space Jam 2, I guess.
Post Looney Tunes back in action. Have we seen a live action Looney Tunes film since? You know, that's got a rich legacy. We've got Looney Tunes back in action.
Yeah, they had a
Space
show
Jam,
recently.
Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, there's the show.
So yeah, I mean, I will say this: the stills they released of the movie, it looks very cool. It looks visually appealing.
Yeah, it won't be like visually hideous to watch, which is, you know, a step above what I expected.
Mm-hmm.
They're making steps to make the film more, of course, puerile and
Yes.
less enticing,
Mm-hmm.
and more respectful to women, which I
So
they're trying very hard to secure the PG rating for it by avoiding
yeah.
casting, of course, the cameo by Ron Jeremy that got taken out with some character redesigns.
Sure. So yeah, that's I guess that's Space Jam 2. I have no clue how this
Space Jam 2, Emmanuel meets Space Jam.
yeah. This whole thing made me laugh when I read it, and I think Don Cheadle being in it just topped it all off. I had no clue he was in it, and I saw his picture of him in a shiny suit jacket, and I was
Oh,
my anticipation for the movie was up.
plot twist: this movie isn't a comedy. It's like a dark, serious, like character drama.
LeBron probably does love his Instagram followers.
Secretly, Martin Scorsese is directing this movie, saying this movie will be free of content. This
I
will
want to
be.
look up who is directing this movie because I'm actually unsure. I mean, I do presume it
I
is.
think it was Martin Scorsese.
Okay.
I think it was. I think it's him. Has anyone checked up on him? Has anyone asked him if he likes Space Jam?
It is directed by Malcolm D. Lee. He is known for directing numerous comedy films, including The Best Man, Undercover Brother, and more.
Oh, he directed Scary Movie 5.
Yeah, has a budget of 162 million.
What I'm assuming is the 5th best scary movie.
It says Jim Carrey. Oh, Don Cheadle is G Rhythm.
Oh, so Don Cheadle is the villainous AI.
Oh my god, that makes me so happy. It is including Jim Carrey apparently is in this movie.
Okay.
That can't be real, can it?
This is a joke, I'm imagining.
Jim Carrey as Stanley Ipkiss.
Oh, as the Mask?
Yeah, I guess he'll have a cameo.
The Mask has a.
Yeah, in a.
It's gonna be like present day Jim Carrey, so the Mask is gonna be like in his mid-50s.
Yeah, I guess so.
I didn't see that Sonic movie. Did you see it? Is he good in that?
In what movie?
The Sonic movie?
No, I have not, but it is on Hulu. If anyone wants to watch it, who's listening to this, so maybe I'll check it out. I've heard it's not bad.
Yeah, people say that of the video game film adaptations that it's of the better ones. So
Hmm. So yeah, I mean, we'll have to wait a little bit until we see Space Jam: A New Legacy. It's also including NBA players Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, Klay Thompson, and Damian Lillard. So if you're a basketball fan, pretty cool to see. Um, and we'll just have to wait a little bit longer to see LeBron and Don Cheadle go head to head over Instagram followers, I guess. What a what what a story.
Is-
Um, what was that?
I don't think this movie is real. I think we're all
I don't
being
think it is.
I think the movie's gonna come out and it's gonna be just like a blank screen with the text, "We already took your money."
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I think it's coming out on HBO Max too, same day. So watch it at home if you want, or don't, or see it in the theater, or don't at all. That's also an option.
I think this will be a good companion piece with the Dune movie.
Yeah,
I think Dennis Villeneuve or
Denis
whatever.
Villeneuve.
Villeneuve?
Denis Villeneuve.
Denis Villeneuve?
Villeneuve.
Villeneuve. Yeah,
Yes.
I think Denis Villeneuve actually was the director of this film.
Okay.
I think he provided there's a lot of crossover between these two HBO Max projects.
Uh huh. Yeah.
It's like Gone with
Mhm.
the Wind and Rebecca, they were produced concurrently,
You
and you can
know,
see
with
the influence.
with all these cameos, I bet we actually will get some crossover with the Warner 3000 serververse.
Yeah, maybe there will be a giant sandworm in Dune in Space Jam 2.
Yeah, probably be pretty overpowering.
That's how the movie ends. They're all eaten by a giant sandworm.
Yeah.
Tom
Uh,
Holland, Wonka's going to show up. Tom and Jerry are going to show up.
yeah.
It's
Tom and
going to be
Jerry movie critically acclaimed, by the way. I've heard.
yeah, I've heard it's great. I've heard no bad things about it.
I kind of want to watch it.
Morbid curiosity or like genuinely?
Like I like Tom and Jerry. I've seen a lot of episodes of the cartoon. Um, I
There
just
was
want
a Tom and Jerry movie in the 90s, I'm pretty sure.
yeah. I don't know. Colin Jost is in it. I love Colin Jost.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it going to be the
Maybe
Smurfs movie?
What'd you say?
You think it's like the Smurfs movie? Like it's like he's like an ad executive and then he gets plagued by Tom and Jerry.
No, I think he's getting married in the
His
movie.
life.
Is what he's doing there, and they're at some hotel, and he's like staying there. I don't know.
They're causing a ruckus.
I
They're
don't know.
causing a ruckus at the hotel. This animated cat and mouse.
I don't know if he's actually like himself or if he's um
Like acting,
playing.
like a character.
Yeah. Let's see. Colin Jost is Ben, so he is not Colin Jost. Okay.
Now, when I say is it like the Smurfs movie, I mean is it going to be a critically acclaimed masterpiece?
Right. Of course. Probably is.
I see Oscars in the future. What do you say?
I see Oscars, Golden Globes, Emmys, Tonys, and probably a few Razzies. Speaking of Golden Globes, though, they happened this weekend,
No,
and
yes.
I watched like maybe 5 minutes of it. But I I have the list of winners here, and we can talk about them, I guess. Soul won Best Animated Movie. Happy about
Okay.
that.
Film?
Yeah, good movie. Jason Sudeikis won for Ted Lasso. That's something I am looking forward to watching soon. Um, I know her name is not pronounced Rosamund Pike, but
Is it Rosamund Pike or
I
something?
think so. Um, but she won for I Care a Lot, Best Actress Comedy Musical. The Crown won Best Series. Minari won Best Foreign Film. A little bit of controversy. Um,
I have not
Gillian
seen
Anderson and
Minari.
Jodie Foster won. Is it Jillian or Gillian? It's Jillian, right?
Gillian Anderson.
Okay. Anya Taylor Joy won for The Queen's Gambit. Chadwick Boseman won Best Actor. We have Nomadland.
Something?
What was that?
Didn't Catherine O'Hara win something?
She did. I don't have every award on here, but yeah, congratulations to her. Nomadland won Best Picture, and Chloe Zhao won Best Director for that as well. So that certainly ups that movie's not notoriety. That's a bad thing. I don't know.
I think just like popularity.
Sure. That movie's on Hulu. Borat won Best Comedy / Musical. Sacha Baron Cohen won for Borat himself. And Andra Day won Best Actress for The United States versus Billie Holiday. So if you didn't watch the Golden Globes, I read some of the winners.
Borat 2 also won Best Picture, right? For
Yes, Best Comedy or Musical.
Hamilton was nominated.
Yeah.
That counts, but I guess
that shouldn't count. That's probably just a result of no movies being out this year.
And that Sia movie that everyone is making fun of, that also.
Yeah, a lot of controversy. I'm not really up to date on it, but
there's been a lot of movie controversies this year.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know anything about them, but good for you, or I'm sorry, I guess.
In 2025, we will all be in a Sia musical film.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. So I am, of course, the #1 fan of the movie Palm Springs and Andy Samberg. I don't know how good Borat 2 is, but Palm Springs should have won, in my opinion. Evan, do you think anyone was robbed?
Well, we are the #1 pro James Corden podcast.
Right, he was.
His roles in the Emoji Movie, The Cats, we respect him not only as an actor, but as a wonderful human being. I believe that his film, The Prom, which I did see, of course, I assume it is about a prom of some kind, was, of course, robbed by the sheer factor that James Corden was in something and didn't win.
Right.
This is another strike it has against it.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm very glad that they took the route of adapting this recent Broadway musical, which people liked, to a movie, and they, got rid of the abhorrent Broadway cast members and brought in some real talent, such as James Corden.
Brought in someone who has shown his capability in the musical classics Cats, Into the Woods.
Right. He's got the singing chops.
Was he in Trolls? I bet he was in Trolls.
Definitely was in Trolls. If he's not in Trolls, what are we doing?
I wager he was in Trolls.
I would bet a lot of money on that.
Being in the theaters for Cats, and I remember I saw James Corden in like 5 different movie trailers, and I was like, does James Corden just own Hollywood? Will we be working, like, if we grow old into Hollywood actors, is we going to be working in James Corden's Hollywood?
So I have let it be known that James Corden plays the role of Biggie in Trolls World Tour as a big blue troll.
Sure, he's a loud, British, fat, annoying troll.
Well, no, I actually think they cast James Corden because he's so similar to the rapper Notorious B.I.G.
Oh yes,
and they call him Biggie obviously for that reason. So yeah, I think that's A+ casting, and I'm sure they're just prepping him for the biopic.
They couldn't have the movie because the James Corden's idea for his Biggie Smalls costume was proved a little too offensive for the studio's taste, so they had to scrap that portion and instead make it animated.
Right. Yeah, so that's our James Corden coverage for the day, I guess. Always devote at least 5 minutes to him.
If you're listening, invite us on Comedians. Does he do Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee? Is that someone else?
Yeah.
Is that Jerry Seinfeld that does that? I have no idea.
I don't know. I think it's just a mix of people. I don't know if James Corden's considered a comedian.
Oh no,
I consider him as one. If anyone's wondering.
Carpool Karaoke. That's James Corden.
Yeah, right. Carpool karaoke. Yeah.
Invite us on Carpool Karaoke. We'll accompany you on Buster Jones
Mm-hmm.
from Cats.
Yeah. So that's our official stance on the Golden Globes. James Corden robbed. Get it trending. And let's move on. I kind of quickly am a little interested in this. I want to talk about the live action Pinocchio. Some casting news came out this week. I think when it was announced at that big Disney Plus like investors meeting or whatever, I think that's when they announced it. When they announced like all these new Marvel and Star Wars projects and just Pixar, whatever Disney projects are coming out soon. Um, they announced Tom Hanks was attached to this immediately as Geppetto, and Robert Zemeckis, director of Forrest Gump, Back to the Future.
Personal favorite of mine.
What film was that, sir?
Who Framed Roger Rabbit, a personal
I
favorite.
see, yes.
And you can see Back to the Future right up there.
Uh-huh. I do catch it in the corner, not exactly, but it is there. And I am interested in this because some other people have been casted. Luke Evans is the coachman. Benjamin Evan Ainsworth is Pinocchio. Cynthia Erivo has been cast as the Blue Fairy, who I really like Cynthia Erivo. She's a really, really good singer. I haven't seen the Harriet Tubman movie, but I really liked her in the movie Bad Times at the El Royale.
Oh yeah, she's great in that film.
Very good movie. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt, one of my probably top 5 favorite actors, has been cast as Jiminy Cricket. Keegan-Michael Key as Honest John, and Lorraine Bracco as a new seagull character. So I haven't seen like a lot of these live action Disney movies, but this cast definitely interests me.
I think there will definitely be a scene in this film where we're going to see Geppetto dealing with a panic attack. He has to go to therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Bracco is his therapist. And we're going to see a nice, good psychological drama form from this. He's got to balance his role as the head of the Carpenters Union with his role as being, prospective father. And I think it's going to be a beautiful film.
I agree.
I don't know if you mentioned this, but I looked. Christoph Waltz is also in this.
Is he really?
Yeah, the great Christoph Waltz of
Love Christoph Waltz.
Right, of such great films.
Mm-hmm.
Tilda Swinton too.
Really?
And yeah,
I did
and
not see this.
Tilda Swinton, Ron Perlman, I believe you mentioned, and and John Turturro.
Wow. I did not mention any of those names, so thank you for doing that. I'm clearly bad at my job.
Oh no.
It's okay. I can quit. I don't need this. This is a very interesting team, especially now just hearing those names. I know people have mixed views on the Disney live action. I didn't love The Lion King. That's really the only one I saw. But we know they have Little Mermaid.
Cinderella, I thought was fine. I thought it was a nice adaptation, though I was 13 when I saw it.
Okay.
And Beauty and the Beast, I did not care for as much.
Was there not enough Josh Gad? Was that the problem?
That was the number one issue. Okay. Every time I saw him on screen, then there'd be a moment where he wasn't on screen. It would make me sad because I wasn't seeing him anymore. But aside from that, I thought that it's just with a lot of these movies, and Lion King is a good example. I saw that one too. I also didn't really care for it.
Yeah.
When you take something that's so fit for animation and you remake it with live action actors, there's always a level of magic lost. It always feels a bit flat. You have to compensate for it, which a lot of these movies don't do. Beauty and the Beast especially. I remember there's this, for a lot of the movie, it's set in this old, like as the cartoon is, is set in this old Gothic castle. So the movie is just really dark and dreary and dismal and like kind of ugly looking.
Hmm.
This isn't even when there is magical stuff happening, it's just not a scenario or a setting that seems to inspire. They didn't do anything like cool and fun and like nice to look at.
Yeah. Um, I assume there will also be a problem when they ultimately tie this into the multiverse too, and we see Luke Evans is Gaston and the Coachman. How are they going to do that?
And how when they tie into the Star Wars universe and when, when old Luke shows up and with Kylo Ren and Daisy Ray shows up.
Daisy Ray.
Yeah, Daisy Ray.
Uh huh. I think the biggest problem will be when Geppetto meets Woody, and they have the same voice.
Oh yeah, I think actually the biggest problem is going to be when Woody is mistaken for Pinocchio, and
Hmm.
he's instead swallowed by that great whale.
And then he tries to steal Tom Hanks' Instagram followers.
Yes. Wait, that's Warner Brothers, not Disney. They can't have. We can't have our
Twitter
two.
followers. I'm sorry.
We
So yeah.
can't have the two corporations that decide what we see and watch at all times, battling it. Because no matter what happens, we lose.
Yeah. So there you go.
Slogan for Space Jam 2, no matter what happens, the audience loses.
That's the official tagline.
Yeah.
Very small there, you can't see it. So yeah, that's the future of Disney's cinema experience that we just laid out for everyone. Any final thoughts on any of those?
I am very excited to see each of the films you've just mentioned.
Hmm.
I will be in the front row of my home movie theater.
Yes.
And of course, my bed that I've placed in front of a TV.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. So that's it for the main topics, really. Let's hit some quick topics. Melissa McCarthy has been cast as a fake Hela in Thor: Love and Thunder, so this confirms why Matt Damon is back. He'll be playing his Loki character again. Liam Hemsworth, the brother of Thor himself, Chris, will be playing fake Thor again. So I'm sure we'll get a reenactment of Thor Ragnarok through those. And
I
I
feel like
think
this
it's
is
cool.
going to be another, like, it's a 5-second cameo
Hmm.
that I never get why they have to, like, announce these.
Yeah, I know.
I think the whole point of like a cameo, what's so interesting about it is that you see it and you're like, oh, that's that guy from that movie. And when you start the movie knowing who's going to be in it, then it's like, oh, well,
Takes a little bit of the magic out of it, and that's why I wish I didn't look into things and watch trailers before I watch movies, but I do.
no, that's what we are. We do this for you guys. We do
Yeah,
this
it's a sad
for,
world.
so please be grateful.
Zack Snyder released some names for 6 different chapters of his Justice League movie. I don't have the names of any of them. I think the first one's like "Don't Try It, Batman," and the last one's something darker.
Wait,
Uh,
let me look them up because just
okay.
reading them aloud.
Of course, the point of this was they were going to release this movie, since it's 4 hours long, as like 6 different episodes. So I guess they split it up into chapters if anyone wants to watch it that way.
Part 1, Don't Count on It, Batman.
Hmm.
Part 2, The Age of Heroes.
Okay.
Part 3, Beloved Mother, Beloved Son. Part 4, Change Machine. Part
Mm,
5, All the King's Horses. Part 6, Something Darker. So I
wow.
think part 6 is where we're going to see Jared Leto Joker appear.
Hmm.
The darkest thing I can even imagine is Jared Leto Joker. A man so crazy that death and crime are merely laughing matters to him.
Yeah.
In a sense, he shows us all that we live in a society. So I think that this film is going to be a perfect I think it's going to be great. I think we need to do a live commentary of all
I
4
would
hours.
love to do that actually. For all our viewers that always comment on our videos, comment if that's what you would like to see, a live stream commentary.
We'll sit for 4 hours while we definitely sit for 4 hours.
I'm gonna cry watching that movie. Damien Chazelle is working on a new movie called Babylon, and it is starring Margot Robbie, Brad Pitt, and just announced Jovan Adepo. I'm not familiar with him, so I don't know if you are.
Damien Chazelle, director of
No,
Depo.
Jovan Adepo.
Oh,
Damien Chazelle, I am familiar
director of your favorite film?
with. La La Land, yes, and Whiplash, another very good movie. And this is about it's an R-rated drama set to the transition in Hollywood from silent films to talking films. So I like Damien Chazelle. I like the cast of it. And anything else?
There's some sound going on.
There is some sound. It sounded like some people were making some noise back there.
Oh, don't mind you. It's actually Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon are in the other room and they're fighting the final cut privileges to the Justice League.
Okay. That's
Actually, no, it's Jared Leto and he just saw the final cut of Justice League. He's crying with embarrassment.
What for like the 5 minutes I watched of the Golden Globes, I saw Jane Lynch interview Jared Leto, and it was great. It was great stuff.
Wait, David Lynch interviewed Jared Leto?
Jane Lynch.
Oh,
Jane Lynch was like hosting the red carpet.
I did not watch the Golden Globes.
No,
I likely will not watch the Oscars.
I probably won't either, to be honest. Are they doing a host or no host again?
I guess it'll probably just be like it's online.
Yeah.
I think the real winner of the Golden Globes was Jason Sudeikis. Who was
Yeah, in a
able to
sweatshirt.
carry out my dream, which is to host the Oscars in a sweatshirt.
Yeah.
If I can do that, then I think my life will be accomplished.
I don't get why it's such a big deal that he was just wearing a sweatshirt. He's in his house.
I know. If I was, it is a thing. It's a pandemic. You asked me to host this. First of all, it's not like he won the award. He was presenting.
No, he
So-
won for Ted Lasso.
Oh, he did?
Yeah,
Oh, even further.
exactly. I think that's a
Further.
less
Here's
on
the
the
thing.
scale
I was
than presenting.
presenting. I'm wearing like maybe something I found, but it's just like I'm in my house. This is like a Sunday night.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna wear a tux for nobody.
And then what are you going to do after it's over? You're going to be like, oh, I have to take off this tuxedo.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear something that I can sleep in because
Yeah.
I'm going to sleep after this.
Yeah, I agree.
Actually, I changed my mind then. Accepting a Golden Globe, wearing like a bathrobe, is gonna be my dream. At the moment I
That'd be a power move.
that will be my life will be done.
I mean, there's no dress code for any of these things, right? People just show up looking really fancy for no reason, right?
Well, there's no dress code for my home anyway.
Well,
Like
I
in-
mean, but for the award shows in general.
Yeah, I would really. That's the thing. People need to demystify dressing up for these events. These events are jokes for Hollywood celebrities to pat themselves on the back.
Yes.
So, come in wearing like a t-shirt and jeans. That's what everyone needs to do.
When we're
Treat
there,
it
that's what I'm
what
doing.
it is.
I'll wear this t-shirt. And the sweatpants I'm wearing right now.
Come in wearing some sweatpants.
Yeah. Okay. So Black Adam is filming next month, starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Cool. Superman and Lois got renewed for a season 2 after only 2 episodes. So I guess it's pretty good. Someone can tell me because I haven't watched it.
I don't think anyone has.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's good. People say good things about it. So
Yeah. So there's that. And The Simpsons got renewed for season 33 and 34 already.
if if anyone's seen like the announcement for this, I hope they check out the picture because I love every time they renew The Simpsons and they like show a picture of it. If you look at a Homer's face, he always looks like he's in pain. And so my headcanon is that Homer is like
He
he's
wants out.
trapped in a WandaVision type scenario where he's forced to relive like his life as this 38-year-old, but also somehow like balding man.
Hmm.
And he's like just stuck in hell for like years.
Yeah.
Really, everyone else got out fine,
Hmm.
is relatively young, and so are like Lisa and Bart. You know, when this curse is lifted, they can live out their lives. Homer Simpson is fat, balding carcass, constantly getting punched, falling down cliffs, drinking himself half to death. That's why he's a drunk, because he's trapped in hell.
Yeah.
The hell being his own body.
Yeah. So there you go. That's going to be the plot of The Simpsons.
Doe.
2 seasons.
Simpsons movie 2. Tagline is just Doe.
Yeah. So last topic before we get to our famous letterbox reviews, which I'm very excited for this episode. Evan, will you be watching the 13 episodes for the SpongeBob SquarePants spinoff, The Patrick Star Show?
I will not be watching that, Declan.
Okay.
Will you be?
I can't say I'm not curious.
Once again, no matter what happens, we lose because people are gonna watch this. There's gonna be more of these.
God, that first image they released though looks so interesting. I have so many questions.
I feel like, do you need a Patrick spinoff? Patrick is a very big part of the norm. Like they have Patrick episodes all the time.
Yeah, right. SpongeBob is a Patrick spinoff because of all the Patrick weekends.
They made like a Sandy spinoff, I would get it because Sandy's not like in all the episodes. Or they made like a Gary spinoff or a Mr.
Sure.
Krabs spinoff, even a Plankton spinoff. But like Patrick is like this. I'm sure. I bet I'm probably wrong, but I bet if you were like to like map out who has the most screen time in SpongeBob, I think right after SpongeBob would be Patrick.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So Patrick Star Show coming to a watchful eyes near you. As in my own. I don't know what I just said. Let's get to our letterbox reviews. I have 4 today, 2 from the same movie, 2 from 2 other movies. Evan has 3, right?
We'll have 3 movies actually.
3
movies.
from 3 different movies. Okay. So I'll start then since I have more. Review for Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Didn't see any star rating on this one or the next one I'm going to share. So I don't know if that means 0 stars or he just didn't leave any stars. Either way, he didn't like it because Christopher Jensen says for Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, congratulations, folks. You weren't happy with the prime rib, so you sent it back and ordered a Big Mac. You got what you asked for.
You know, that's a pretty good metaphor, honestly. Like it's funny, but a good metaphor for what this trilogy was. It's less like they didn't like the prime rib. It's more like they didn't like the like college campus made house made pastrami. And then they sent it back and they got some cold cuts.
J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson were actually in the background of Evan's room earlier. That was what that argument was.
I think that was Rian Johnson reading the Rotten Tomatoes reviews for The Last Jedi.
Yeah. And then he made Knives Out, and look who's laughing now. Go ahead with your first one, Evan.
I think actually the Nazi kid in Knives Out was Rian Johnson's attempt to own all the critics of The Last Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Like unironically, I imagine that was probably the idea.
Mm-hmm.
But my first critic is for the critically acclaimed 2007 film Ratatouille.
Okay.
Now, for the uninitiated, Ratatouille is a film lovingly inspired by Disney's Ratatouille.
Oh,
And the review by Jason last name, James last name, it's German or something. I can't read this.
good to hear.
He gives it 1.5 star and says, a dense political thriller filled with thought-provoking social commentary and an explicit critique of capitalism and monopolistic business practices.
Hmm.
It was unironically better than Cars 2.
Okay. It's very good. All right. So I mentioned that this week I watched all the X-Men movies, and I enjoyed them. First Class was my favorite. Just a quick little information there about how I felt about them. But um, Ethan felt this way about the latest X-Men movie, X-Men Dark Phoenix, which was critically acclaimed. And he's
I think we
Ethan.
use critically acclaimed ironically way more than we use it. Like,
Yeah. So Ethan didn't leave any stars for this one. So I guess he didn't like it at all. But he says, "Does
I
Ty
guess he
Sheridan?"
didn't.
Go ahead.
I guess he didn't like it.
I guess not. But he said, "Does Ty Sheridan go everywhere with those effing gamer glasses? Does he not know how to take them off? Does he realize he isn't in Ready Player One anymore?"
I like.
Yeah.
So, my next review is from 2009's critically acclaimed gothic body horror film directed by, I believe, David Cronenberg was out, so they hired Tom Six instead to direct The Human Centipede, first sequence. This review gives it 0.5 star from Tom Civis, who says, clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right, here I am, stuck in the middle with you.
That's good. Okay. So the next movie, I have two reviews from. Should I knock these both out and let you
Yeah,
finish
knock these
Evan?
both out.
All right. So this is from the movie Jack and Jill, starring Adam Sandler as both Jack
Okay.
and Jill. And we have here on our Letterboxd reviews our first recurring reviewer. I think that deserves some applause.
I'm clapping, but my hands are
So there
low,
you go.
so
Okay, some light applause there. This is a 0.5 star review from Dirk H. And Dirk says, my 1-year-old son filled his diaper to the brim with sticky poo the other day. Cleaning that was infinitely more fun than watching this garbage.
yeah.
So there you go. And the next one is a 3-star review from Mario. And he liked this movie a little more than Dirk did. So he said, I know there are some different opinions about movies. Some people prefer Tarantino, some people Nolan. Some like Kubrick, others like Lynch. Some might prefer Star Wars, some Lord of the Rings, some like Harry Potter, others Twilight. I'm glad about these different opinions, or we'd have nothing to talk about. And I love discussing movies with you guys. But I'm also glad we can all agree on Adam Sandler being the best actor of all time, and on this being the greatest movie ever made. Seriously, if this movie had an average rating below 4 stars, I just quit using Letterboxd. But since it has an average score of 5.0, because we all agree it is a timeless masterpiece, I'll stay. Also, I'm pretty sure this ended anti Semitism and transphobia, but it seems like J.K. Rowling never watched it. So, my only question with this is if he thinks it's the greatest movie of all time, why do you only leave 3 stars?
That's true. He should have given it 5 as to
He should have.
ascertain its status as the highest rated film on Letterboxd, which I think it is. We should run the numbers on that.
It
I'm
should.
sending out a geographical team to explore
Uh-huh.
the Letterboxd scores for Jack and Jill to make sure.
Good. I'm glad you are.
So my final review comes from Bo Welch's surrealist horror film from 2003, The Cat in the Hat, starring
Oh
Mike
boy.
Myers, Kelly Preston, Alec Baldwin, um, every character from my nightmares, that white creepy guy from Lost Highway, and more.
Hmm.
This review comes from Josh Lewis, who doesn't leave any stars, but says, didn't actually watch this. Just wanted to remind everyone that this film was shot by three-time Oscar winner Emmanuel Lubezki. And I would like to remind you guys, this audience, that Oscar winner Emmanuel Lubezki did shoot the Cat in the Hat film. So
Yeah.
if you want to
Uh,
know the link between the Cat in the Hat and the Oscar-winning film Birdman, same cinematographer, which is why the movie's so beautiful, I think.
yeah.
Every time I see that shot of the cat's bare buttocks, I burst out crying.
um, I think my favorite part of that is that he didn't watch the movie.
Didn't actually watch this, but
We need more people like that.
people being honest on
Um,
Letterboxd. Sometimes I will read reviews on Letterboxd that are like complaining about a movie, and they'll be like, "Did you watch it? Did you watch the
yeah.
film?"
Mhm. Yeah. All right. So those were our thrilling reviews.
Yeah.
That was our thrilling show. Um, WandaVision, Golden Globes, Pinocchio,
Yeah.
Space Jam, Instagram followers. Always Zack Snyder, always James Corden, always that Army Hammer made their appearances today. So that'll do it for today's episode. Do all the things we asked you at the beginning. We'll ask you to do them again at the end, won't we, Evan?
Of course.
Yeah. So do those things. Tell a friend that you want them to listen to us. Tell multiple friends. Tell family members. And we'll be back soon enough. Goodbye, everyone.